Yeah, guys. So what we discussed in the previous classes? So we discussed in the basic commands, right? And the file handling tools, file and directory handling tools, and text processing tools, right? And the that so file all the file and directory handling tools it will cover something like a copy, move, remove, everything. Text processing tools, cat, va, touch, more, less, grep, head, tail. These all are comes under this text processing tools and file handling tools. Okay, so that basic. Now you understand how to install the OS. So what is a physical server? What is a virtual server? So how to install the virtualization? How to install OVM on your laptop, right? OVM on your laptop, and how to install CentOS 7 on CentOS 7 on your laptop, right, guys? Is it clear? Sital, Tulasi, Chaitanya,
Yes, sir.
Kirti.
Yes, sir. It's
Ah, yes,
clear.
sir.
Sital, did you install the CentOS 7 on your lappy?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet. So you can watch those recordings. Pinged you, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that so the third, fourth, fifth, I think, right, Tulasi? The VM
Yes, sir.
comes under third, fourth, fifth. I think fourth, fifth, sixth. You can
Four,
install
fourth one, sir.
fourth one. You can watch that fourth one and you can install the Linux on your laptop, Sital. Okay.
Yeah.
So if
Okay,
you are
sir.
facing any issues, you can reach out to Kirti. Kirti already knows how to install the OS, right, Kirti?
Yes, sir.
What? Yes.
Sir, I haven't practiced it, but
Uh,
I've seen how to install the OS.
okay. Okay. So if you practice, then only it will understand how to install the OS on any of the hardware. Okay. So
Yes,
you
sir.
so you have a laptop, right? You got the laptop, right? New or something like.
I'll get the laptop in a couple of days.
Okay. You can try it in Sital's lappy also if you
Sure, sir.
want. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we will discuss today, we will discuss about the user administration. So user administration. So while installing the OS, which user we created, which user we set their password.
Root user and passwords
Root user.
and password.
So root user is created you, or by default while installing the OS root user is created.
By default, root user has came, sir.
Yes. So by default while installing the
CentOS.
OS, while installing the OS, it will create automatically. It will create automatically, but we are resetting the resetting the password for that user, right? So only
For the
we
root
just
user.
for the root user only. So right, we did not created any user, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
So I already told you, right? Users can be two types. Users can be two type. So one is
Root user, another one is the normal user.
admin user.
Administrator.
So administrator or admin user and the normal.
Normal user.
So administrator user can execute both bin and
Both bin
bin and
commands and
SBin.
SBin commands.
Very good, very good. So bin and SBin command.
SBin command.
SBin commands. A normal user can execute only.
Bin commands only.
Very good. Bin commands. So
Bin.
yeah, bin commands. So root user is created while installing the OS, right? So we have two types of users. One is admin user and the normal user. Who is the admin user? Root user
Root
is
user
the.
is the admin user. Admin
Who are
user.
the normal users?
A number of any person. Those who are secondary.
Tulasi, Hari, Sital, Chaitanya. Kirti, right? Bhaskar, Kadiza, I forgot her name. Kadij.
K, K,
Kidh, Kadiz. Okay, whatever it may be, guys, no worries. Yeah. So what is the in the FHS FSH Linux file system hierarchy? So what is the root user's home directory? What is the
/root.
yeah /root? So what is the normal user's home directory?
/home.
Yes, /home. For example, Hari /home Tulasi /home
Uday Bhaskar.
Uday Bhaskar. So if you create a normal user's home directory will be creating under the
/home directory.
So the root user's home directory is /root. So that's the reason I asked everyone, please watch that recording. So you need to know each and every directory. So what is that boot directory? What is the bin directory? So what is the purpose of bin directory? What is the purpose of sbin directory? So what is home directory? You guys can watch and watch again, and please practice that Linux file system hierarchy. If you know the Linux file system hierarchy, right, it will be very easy. As per my understand, Linux is very easy when you know the. So Linux is a very easy when you know the.
Directory types and commands how to use.
Yes. Linux file system hierarchy. So if you know the Linux file system hierarchy, it will be very easy to understand the Linux. It will be very easy to understand the Linux also. Okay. Yep. So user administration. So normal root user created under the admin user. So normal users will be created under the normal user, right? So normal user having certain limit of permissions like so normal user will execute only the bin commands. A root user can execute bin and sbin commands. Okay. So the root user, I 1 second. Yep, guys. User administration. What is that? User administration.
User
So,
administration.
all users UID, GID starts from by 1000 defaults. By 1000 defaults. 1 second, guys. Done, na, Tamil? Okay. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So what is UID, GID? UID, GID. So what is UID, GID? What is UID, guys? UID is nothing but a, guys, tell
User
me.
ID.
Yes, very good. User ID. So user ID contains something like in Linux. So we can create 0 to 60,000 users. How many users? So 60,000 users. So we can access at a time a server. How many users, guys? So we can
60,000.
60,000 users. So what is the UID of the root? 0 is the UID of the root, guys. What is the UID of the root? 0 is the UID of the root. A normal user UID starts from 1000 by default. So what is that, guys? So users
1000.
UID starts from by 1000 by default, right? So from 0 to 999. So 0 to 999. So the ID will allocate to system related users. So from 1000 onwards, so we will allocate the normal users
One.
UID. Normal users UID. Guys, now you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So user administration, all all users UID JID starts from by 1000 by default. So UID GIDs we will create 60,000. So 0 to 999 is the system itself users. 0 is the root user UID. So 1000 to 60,000 is all general users uses. So for a user account, primary group is mandatory. If you're not assigning to any group, user himself behaves as a group. What is that, guys? Every user contains the primary group and secondary group. First of all, what is a group, guys? What is a group? Yeah, I will tell you. So if you create any group, for example, DevOps group. So what is the group name, guys? DevOps group.
DevOps.
Linux engineers group. So Linux engineers group or cloud engineer or cloud engineers group. So if you create a DevOps group, if you create a DevOps group and you assign some permissions to that group, you assign some permission to that group. So if you add anyone into this group, for example, DevOps contains Tulasi and Chaitanya. DevOps contains Tulasi and Chaitanya. So Linux engineer something like a Kirti and Bhaskar. So cloud engineers, for example, Seetal and Kadiz. So Kadiz. So Linux engineer, whatever the permissions we assign to the Linux engineers, right? Those permissions will be applicable for the related group people. Who are the Linux engineers group people? Kirti and Bhaskar. Who are the related to DevOps? Tulsi and Chaitanya. Who are related to cloud engineers? Seetal and Katish. So whatever the permissions we provided to the cloud engineer, that permissions will automatically assign to the group people for that group of people. Guys, understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So groups are two types: primary
Yes.
and
Secondary.
secondary. So every user having only one primary, every user having only one primary and multiple secondary groups. So multiple secondary groups. Now you understood? For example, Hari is the user, guys. Hari is the user. So Hari user primary group is DevOps. What is that? Primary group is DevOps and secondary groups. Secondary groups are he is related to cloud engineer. Is related to cloud engineer and as well as Linux engineer. Guys, understood? So every user having only one primary group and multiple secondary groups. Secondary groups. Guys, understood?
Yes.
Yes, right? Yeah. So a user account primary group is mandatory. A user account So we need to assign the primary group is mandatory. If you are not assigning to any group, user himself behaves as a group. For example, Hari is the user. Hari is the user. So this Hari user is not assigned to any primary group. Himself as behaves as a group. If you are not assigned, himself behaves as a group. Himself behaves as a group. Now you understood? Yes. So something like how you can add the something like I will tell you here only, guys. Yeah. So for a user creation, what is the command, guys? User add. For user modifications, we can modify by using user mod. So for user deletion, so user del is the command. So how you can set the password for that user? Passwd is the command to set the password. What is this? So what is the command to set the password, guys?
PWD.
What is the command? PWD is nothing but a present working directory. Passwd.
Okay,
What is that?
pass.
Passwd is the command to set or reset our password. To set or reset our password. What these are? User add, user del, user mod. For creating the user, you can use the user add. For modifying the user, you can use user mod. For deleting the user, you can use user del. The same way, user group add, group mod, group del. So if you want to create a group, you can use the group add. If you want to modify the group, you can use the group mod. So if you want to delete the group, you can use the group del. Guys, understood? Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
group add, to create a system group for a user, it may be a primary or a secondary group, and all the groups information will be available in /etc groups. So the systems, the group information will be available in /etc group. The information will be available on /etc group. Okay. Something like a group add, group name, group add -g, gid, group name. Okay.
Okay.
So if you want to give a particular GID, if you want to give a particular GID to that group, you can use -g. For example, I want to give a fancy number to that group. Group add group name. Group add -g. Group add -g GID group name. So what is that group add HR? Group add -g. So 10,000 Nagios. So Nagios is the group. So that GID for that group is 10,000. Okay. So if you want to see the information in for the all the groups, you can use /etc group or so grep HR /etc group. Fields in the /etc group. So what are the fields? Group name, GID, and so this is encrypted password and secondary group members and secondary group members. Guys, it is it easy?
-g, what is the purpose of -g?
-g is nothing but if you want to give a particular group ID. So the group ID starts from 1000 onwards, right? Something like if you create a
Yes.
group, yeah, if you create a group. So for example, if you are creating a group, group add, group name -g. For example, if you create a Linux engineer. So if you create a group, add Linux engineer. So the Linux engineer is group ID. Group ID means GID will create by 1000, right? 1000 onwards. For example,
Yeah.
1000. So if you create a another group add DevOps engineer. For
Engineer.
example, DevOps engineer. So later, so GID will create
1001.
1001, right? So if you want to create a particular GID for the group, for example, group add, so cloud engineer.
Yes.
Cloud engineer. I want to create a particular group ID to, so particular GID. What is that GID? What GID will use something like 1111, for example.
Okay.
So if you are not
Okay.
giving any specific, if you are not giving the group ID, it will take by default 1002. So now I am giving the group
Particular
ID,
ID.
particular
Yeah.
GID.
Group ID.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you
Yeah.
understood why -G?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
If you want to give a
Particular
particular
group ID. You will give
particular a group ID. Now you understood?
group ID.
Yes, group ID. So group
Yes.
GR, HR, something like that, right? So more /etc groups, /etc groups. Guys, what this is? Guys, what this is?
Increase the size.
No.
Size of
What this is? I'm asking about this. What is that?
Linux prompt.
root.
CentOS prompt. It's a Linux prompt.
User?
CentOS Linux prompt. User
User?
prompt.
Very good. So this
User
is a,
prompt.
yeah. So what this is, guys? This black screen is a
Command prompt.
Shell.
CUI.
what is this, guys? This is a shell. So
Build
we
bash.
where we are, so how we are interacting with the line kernel, guys?
Through hardware.
So through hardware. So hardware interacting with the,
SSH.
yeah. So guys, so hardware, kernel, and then bash, then commands. Okay. So shell interact with the kernel. If you want to do any operations, pwd, ls, so if you are giving in the shell prompt, so it took the shell prompt, kernel will execute that commands. Okay. Kernel will execute that commands. Now you understood? So what is that? Where is the information available for the group information? Group information will be available under the /etc
Slash
group,
slash group.
right? So which
Yes.
group is created? Hurry group is created.
Yes.
So I did not created that hurry group, but if you are not creating any group, user himself behaves as a group. Okay. I will show you that one. No worries. Guys, okay. So the group information will be available under the /etc group. Okay. So if you want to add a group add, so group add HR, group add Nagios, group add -G, -G, 1111112 Linux engineer. Who is, guys? Linux engineer. GRO UP. Yeah, guys. Now check it. /etc group. Right. So HR is created. Hari is already created. 1000. HR
Linux engineer.
created. Yeah. HR 1001. Linux Nagios 1002. But we provided a specific group ID to the Linux engineers. That's the reason. So it created 1111 because of we provided a specific GID to the Linux engineers. Okay. Next. Yeah. So user add. So user, how you can create the user account, guys? To create a new user account,
Yeah.
you can use
Yes.
the user add command. User add options, username. What are the options? -u is nothing but a UID. If you want to specify a particular UID, you can use the -u. If you want to specify a particular GID, you can use the small
Particular.
g. Yeah. So if you want to assign a particular secondary group, you
Secondary.
can use capital G. And if you want to use home directory, you can use the /d. You can use the /d. and C is nothing but a comment, S is nothing but a shell. S is nothing but a shell, guys. I will tell you no worries these options. Okay. So whenever you create a user, the user details are going to store under the /etc passwd database file. So where the information, where is the user information will be available? The user information is the user information details will be available under the /etc passwd database file, and the user passwords are going to store under the /etc shadow file. The user information will be available under the /etc password, and the group and the password information will be available under the /etc shadow. Okay. Cat /etc passwd. Yeah. So the user information will be available under the /etc shadow. Shadow. Sita left,
Yes,
Kirti?
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Starting
తనకి
on
ఏదో మీటింగ్ ఉందంట.
Parallel.
Oh.
Okay. Root. So root is the super user. What is the root user's UID, guys? Root user's UID is, this
0.
is UID, this is GUID. This is UID. First is UID. The second one is GID. UID is 0. GID is 0. Because root is not assigned to any group. So that's the reason himself behaves as a group. Himself behaves as a group. So what is that?
Group.
Bin bash. What it is, guys? This is a bin bash. What is the home directory? Home directory is
In
/home. What is the shell, guys? Shell is a bin bash.
Dash.
Bin bash shell. Yeah, guys. So bin. So what is the bash shell, guys? SBN no login. Daemon SBN no login.
born again
ADM
shell.
SBN no login. LP SBN no login. So these all are the SBN no login. What is mean by SBN no login, guys? I will tell you. So shell. What is a shell? It is used to interact with the system. What is this? This is the bin bash shell. So what is a shell? It is interact with the system to know
Can
how many
yeah.
shells are available. So how do you know how many shells are available? /etc
Slash
shells.
etc
Cat
slash shells.
/etc shells. How many shells are available? So bin sh, bin bash, user bin sh, user bin bash. These all are the shells available in the this CentOS 7 mission. Okay. So and bin bash is the default shell for all Linux Unix users. What is that, guys? Bin bash is the default shell for all Linux and Unix users. So what is sbin no login? Sbin no login is a special shell. Sbin no login is a special shell which gives no interaction with the system. Which gives no interaction with the system. These users are unable to interact with the system because of these users having the sbin no login. They are unable to access the server because of they are having the sbin no login. If sbin no login is a special cell which gives no interaction with the system, which gives no interaction with the system. Generally, all the service user accounts are assigned with the no login cells. What is this? I already told you, right? The system related users 0 to 999. So those users are usually assigned with the no login shells. So grep no login $/etc password to see the users list with no login shell. So echo shell no the working shell. To assign a password for a user account, what is the command? To assign a to assign password for the user account. What is the password, guys? If you want to assign a password, passwd username. So passwd options username. So -l is nothing but a lock user. -u is nothing but unlock the user. If you want to delete the password, -d delete the password. So -s capital S is nothing but a status. -d is nothing but a delete the password, passwordless authentication. So -u is nothing but unlock the password. -l is nothing but a lock the password. Lock the password. Guys, understood? Yeah. So I want to create a user. User add user one. So user is created. User add user one. User is now understood. User is created. User add hyphen u. Hyphen u or means you are specifically providing the IP the ID address UID user ID user 2.
Yes.
So user 2. So cat slash etc passwd pipe grep user 2. Yes, user 2 is created. So this is the password information. This is the UID. This is the GID, home directory, bin bash profile. Okay. The same way, user 1. User 1 created as a 101 because of the first UID is created while creating the Hari user. So Hari user CID UID is 1000. The next UID allocated to the which user, guys? User 1. So user 1 having the 1001 UID and 111 to GID. Home user 1 bin bash. Okay. Yeah. I want to assign a primary group. So how you can assign the primary group, guys? You can assign a primary group. So this is the a group. So how you can assign a primary group? You can assign the primary group by using capital G. Small g is nothing. Capital G is nothing but a secondary group. Small g is nothing but a primary group. User add user add hyphen capital G. Okay. What is the primary group? HR we already created. User 3 cat you see. So 1011 1011. What is that, guys?
UID.
Yeah, UID
User
GID. Okay. So you want to create a another user ID. I want to assign a prime secondary UID. User add hyphen small g Linux engineer. Cat slash etc passwd. Right. So this is the user 2. I want to create a I want to add user add small g hr hyphen capital G means giving a secondary group. What is that group? Cat sorry cat slash etc group. What is that, guys? Nagios Linux engineers. Okay. User add hyphen capital G hr small g. What is that small g, guys?
Linux
Nagios
engineering.
Nagios user 5. cat /etc or else id user 5. You see, so this is the user id, this is the gid, this is the groups id. So this is the group id, this is the secondary group id is nagios, secondary group id is nagios. Next, I want to create a user add -s sbin no login. Which one, guys? I'm unable to give the I am not able to give the access to the shell. Okay, sbin no login user 6. So you see, pass wd user 6 red hat